Canadian. It's the C word, gets me every time.
Welcome to Whiskey Nightcaps, the channel where we do sip before sleep. And I am somebody. Actually, that's Jesse Jackson's line. And my line is, and I am your host and also your friend. This is, I believe, the third episode of the neck pour edition of Whiskey Nightcaps. And today we bring to you Suntory AO. And I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but I don't have any Japanese person to reference and ask how you pronounce this whiskey. Now, this is a very different and ambitious whiskey, to say the least, right? It is not, technically it's not Japanese whiskey. It's not Japanese whiskey at all. It is a blend of American, Irish, Scotch, Japanese, and
Canadian. It's the C word, gets me every time.
But very ambitious to try to put a blend of all of those whiskeys together. Now, I don't know exactly which specific brands of whiskey go into this, but we do know which distilleries Beam Suntory owns. Let's take a look at some of that right now, because that'll give us a kind of an idea of possibly which whiskeys were used in blending this gumbo of whiskey. It's a gumbo of whiskeys. Now, it reminds me of another whiskey that, ta-da, I have right here. Check that out, which is Jack Daniel's Triple Mash Bottled in Bond, which is a blend of American single malt, or not American single malt, American malt, rye, and Tennessee whiskeys. And when I first saw this and I purchased this, I truly thought it was gonna be trash when I read that it was a blend of these different whiskeys. But turns out it is the shiznit. Okay, this is one of my favorite whiskeys to date. And it used to be like $30, right? And it was just like close to a bottle of Jameson, which that tells you something. And now it's like $50 or $55 because people have figured it out that it's the shiznit, all right? But we're not here to talk about this today. We'll be back for this later. But today, and right now, we are going to try this whiskey for the first time, okay? As you can see, all right? I'm not David Blaine, but as you can see, I'm not playing a trick on you. This bottle has never been opened. Look. We're gonna go with a good, maybe a good 2 ounce or 2.5 ounce, because when I'm done with this video, I just want to drink. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I love when you first open a bottle and you can like smell it wafting through the air. You know, that's one of my favorite words, is wafting. Oh, that's different. We're not editing. That stays in the footage. I hate sometimes when you get a glass that's been cleaned, that's been sitting there, and that's really all you can smell is the glass itself. Now, right off the top, I can smell malt, right? So I don't know the percentages of the blends, but the maltiness of this stands out, and it has a very floral perfume kind of, and when I say perfume, I don't mean like alcohol. I just mean it has a very, what's the word I'm looking for here? I mean, it's a pleasant scent. Green apples, not picking up any bourbon, a little honeydew, some oakiness, a little spicy oakiness. Now we know they own Lefroy, but I'm not picking up any peatiness, anything like that. Maybe there was a little smoke. There was a little smoke right there. Like right when I said that, I should let this sit for like 5 minutes. All right, let's see. Let's go on for our first sip. That's good. That is good. If you're a person that likes Scotch or Japanese whiskey, you'll like this for sure. Now, I'm picking up what seems like some of the Akantoshan. Like, if I had to guess which Scotch is present here, it's the Akantoshan. Like a little Irish on the back end. But the American notes, not picking that up so much. Like I said, if I had to say that percentage, the percentage of American whiskey that's in this bottle is probably not that much. Not that much, right? That probably is the smallest percentage of this whiskey. The malted barley is heavy here, which I like. That's pleasant for me. I mean, I don't know about you. Definitely, there's definitely smoke there. Like a pile of coal that's been smoldered, layered right underneath of the malt. Like I see, like in my mind, like I saw like a campfire or a bonfire. That was like the image that just like popped into my head as I was like bringing this in. Yeah, that note is present, and it's starting to become the dominant note over the cereal maltiness. That's really good. That is really good. And it translates to the palate. You're getting that, like I said, that heavy cereal maltiness. That smokiness is on my tongue right now. Makes me want to barbecue. This is 43% ABV, you know, which for some of you, you're like, oh, that's not enough proof. You know, that's not enough ABV for me. But, you know, what I can tell you is in the world of Scotches, Japanese whiskey, that, you know, you really don't find a lot of heavy proofed whiskeys, and that is fine, right? Like, I drink all whiskeys, all of them. It's not one that I don't drink, except for Canadian. I try Canadian whiskeys, like I'm open-minded, I'll try anything. But in terms of like whiskeys that I actually like purchase and enjoy, not Canadian, but, and no offense to my Canadians, Bret Hart. But I purchase and I have here amongst me every type of whiskey you can think about, right? I like them all. And I like them in different times, different moods. Scotch, it's enjoyable. I'm sorry, Scotch is so enjoyable to just sit and sip on, you know what I mean? And Japanese whiskey is in that same vein because they learn how to make whiskey from the Scots. And so their whiskeys are very, very similar. So having the low proof really doesn't bother me, especially the way that it's aged, right? You know, in Scotland with the weather, you don't expect to have very high proof whiskeys. There may be some peat in here, but a very small amount. If you're not into peated whiskeys yet, do yourself a favor. Go get some. At first you're gonna think it's gross, but eventually you'll come to like it. It's an acquired taste. On that sip, oh, that's like, okay. That reminded me of an Irish whiskey, like the sweetness that you get from that Irish whiskey, but still with that smokiness. That's there on the finish. I can tell you this. Here's what I can tell you. I had no reservations, no thoughts coming into this whole thing, right? I really didn't know if it was gonna be good, didn't know if it was gonna be bad. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, they're trying to hype you up and this is gonna be trash, right? But I could sip on this all night. I could sip on this all night, and tonight I probably will be sipping on this until I don't feel like sipping no more. Well, really, I probably switch to something else because I never just sit and drink one whiskey. I am like so scatterbrained like that. I start with one, I just jump around. Do you do that? Do you sit and drink the same whiskey all night? If you have like a collection, or do you jump from like whiskey to whiskey? But I can tell you, like, based on my mood today and the results of this tasting, this neck pour, a portion of this bottle will be gone before sunrise. For sure. For sure. All right. Down in the comments, guys, tell me, have you seen this whiskey? Have you tasted this whiskey? What was your opinion of it? All right. If you have not, is this something you would be interested in? Let me know. Let me know, actually. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, because I'm this close, bring it in, this close, I will send somebody this whiskey. Somebody randomly that has commented on a video, I will send them some of this whiskey to sample themselves and send me a video of their opinion of it. And when I go back to review some of the whiskeys that we've done in the neck pour, I will actually add their video to my video. See what I just did right there? All right, man, this is Whiskey Nightcaps, and again, my name is Jason Davis, Sr. It has been a pleasure to drink whiskey for you guys in the name of science. Be back here again, because I will be posting. I told you I'm back. I'm back, baby. I have made my return. Now you can't get rid of me. Now you can't leave. What movie was that from? Now you can't leave. Anyway, Whiskey Nightcaps. I'm out.